soon as I got out of the guillotine, and I like locked eyes with him, mate, and I could just tell, like, I'm here now. It's either I'm gonna die or he's gonna die, sort of way. It's like it's so much so like the common people never understand to feel like being in that moment. Do you know what I mean? Like where we're both bleeding, we're both knocked each other down multiple times, and it's just got to the point where I'm accepting what will be, will be.
Some man, they wanna chat shit till I knock 'em ain't like I'm Jack Shaw. Rolls hot, rolls back, my flow sharp like a hacksaw.
Right, we're back with the Tanked Up 2.0 podcast. Today we've got, for me, one of the most exciting prospects in British MMA, Lewis McGrillen, a Manchester top team. Thanks for coming on, Lew. How you doing, buddy?
All good, my mate. How are you?
All good, mate. All good. You've had a bit of a whirlwind past 18 months, I think, mate, hasn't it? It's been absolutely crazy for you, I'd imagine. It's been brilliant for us as fans to watch, but, you know, in particular, the £100,000 tournament, you've stepped in as a short notice replacement, smashed the entire tournament and walked away as a winner. So just talk to us about a little bit about, you know, how have the PFL been for you? Has it been a great fit? You know, is it working well?
Been great, mate, honestly, especially like for me now, I'd say, like, since I feel like I'm earning the respect I probably deserve in a way. Like, since the end of that tournament and did my thing, like winning the fights and stuff like that, I felt like in a way I helped them out in PFL Europe a little bit more of a push, especially on like the English side of things. I just feel like now, world's my oyster in a way with them now. I'm just waiting for whatever comes for me. I felt like at the start I did struggle getting fights last year until I jumped into that tournament last minute, like literally.
The final, and me and Jack have spoke on this on a couple of podcasts. We spoke with your coach Carl when he was on the podcast. The semi-final, sorry, against Dean. Absolutely, what a fight to watch, mate. For me, it's the best MMA fight, you know, I've watched in a long, long time. Not just domestically, I mean worldwide. What was the reaction like after that fight? Because it must have been quite insane, to be honest, because the fight itself is insane. I imagine the reaction after was quite overwhelming as well.
Well, straight after, to be quite honest, mate, I just remember being full of adrenaline, like I was off my head. Like, honestly, there's no drug that could top that. I swear to God, like, all I remember, was just getting out of the cage, I was just, I'd like red in one eye, just covered in claret, and going off on like what I'm gonna do to this German guy, mate. Like, do you know what's funny with me? Do you know what, the next day or whatever, when I've calmed down, I'm like, oh, why was I like that? Why am I that mad? Why am I like this? But it's just one of them, innit? Like, wait. I was like, oh, it is what it is. I'm a bit of a mad bastard in it, so it's just one of them. But to be quite honest, mate, there was no feeling like it, but I enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm there for.
What a fight! What a fight! Go on, Jack.
Talk about obviously the fight itself was carnage for however long it lasted. What was the mindset during the fight? Was it kind of just I'm fighting on instincts here, we're up and down, think I got him, he's recovered, or was it kind of was you sort of clear sighted in the madness, or was it kind of I'm just going for it here and what will be?
You know what, mate? It was when I literally joined that in like a week. I jumped in like 8 days notice, literally, mate, and I went into that moment, like, I can't lie, like, my headspace was like, I'm not bothered. Like, my whole headspace was like, it's kill or be killed in here. I felt like I had a few things in my personal life what was like, in a way, thrived me. I always felt like a little bit of chaos in my life always thrived me, so I always knew when shit was going down in that fight, that's the moment where I felt like I'd thrive. The moment I dropped him, I was like, oh my God, I've just dropped Dean Garnett. And I was like, okay, jumped on him, and then it got a little bit hectic. I got dropped a couple of times, and then I even remember the most for me was I remember being in that guillotine. I remember getting it, with a big right hand. He spun me jaw, mate. I've gone, boom. I've come back up, and he's just jumped on my neck. And I was like choking. I was kicking like I've never kicked before. But it was that little moment in my mind where I was like, I've been here before. Even as an amateur, I got beat with a guillotine. I remember that was a moment through my head for a second. Like, I can't let that happen there. I can't let him beat me how he said he could see he's going to beat me. Because he did say to me in the week, I can see me catching you with a guillotine and things like that. But I got to the point where I accepted what will be. I thought, I'm going to die in here tonight. That's the point I entered. Like, it was something so primitive I've never ever felt before. as soon as I got out of the guillotine, and I like locked eyes with him, mate, and I could just tell, like, I'm here now. It's either I'm gonna die or he's gonna die, sort of way. It's like it's something so like the common people never understand to feel like being in that moment. Do you know what I mean? Like where we're both bleeding, we're both knocked each other down multiple times, and it's just got to the point where I'm accepting what will be, will be.
I think that's the 1% mentality that champions have, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of mindset you've got to have to be as successful as what you have been and all the great champions. I want to take us back a little bit. Your record's 12-1 as a pro. I've got that right, haven't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
Your amateur record wasn't quite extensive. Is that all I could see on Tapology was 3 or 4 fights? Am I right with that, or was it fights missing off the record?
There was a few missing. I was 8-1 as an amateur. Yeah.
What was your background before you started MMA? Let's talk about that. What was you doing? Was there any background, or was MMA your first art, and you've just grown with the sport?
I'll be honest, mate. I just went straight into MMA when I was 15. Don't get me wrong. I did like the odd boxing session here and there in New State. I think that's just like the norm in it, like over here. But like, I never took it serious. I never had any fights. I never like did boxing training for like more than a month or anything like that. I just did a bit here and there. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like to say I knew how to like try and defend myself a little bit, just being from a council estate, getting in like typical boyish problems and things like that. But I went straight into MMA, mate. Like, how it really started for me, how I got into MMA was I was literally on national turf in school, and we were just grappling each other and messing around. Like, I played a bit of the UFC game here and there, and I thought, I'll give that a go in it. And obviously, like, you had the rise like McGregor when I was like 15, because I grew up in the McGregor area, I'd say. And like, I seen things like that, and I thought, you know what, I'll just give that a go. Why not give it a knock? And then I got a taste for it, mate, and I thought, wow, this is probably something I really, really want to do.
Go on.
How early on did you notice that you had the type of power you had? So obviously, I think the type of power you possess, you're not just a big puncher. It's literally a case of you've only got to sort of touch someone with a clean shot. Yeah, the touch of depth to put them out. How young was you when you realised that you had that type? Because am I right in saying a lot of your amateur fights with submission wins?
Yeah.
So was it early on, or was it like a case in a fight where you landed a shot and thought, fucking hell, I can dig a bit by you, or was it in the gym coming up? How early on did you sort of realise that, hang about a minute, I've got something here that every fighter sort of dreams of having?
Yeah. Do you know what it is, mate? Yeah. It's like I knew I had like a punch on me and stuff like that, but my technique wasn't really there yet. Do you know what I mean? And plus, I wasn't growing into like my manpower, as I would say. Carl seen that more than anyone. He went, right, you can punch, you, mate. Like, we need to keep working on that. And we keep working it, repetition, training constantly. Like, he showed me how to like plant my base when I'm punching, correct feet, way I'm hitting, putting my hip in, a little bit more, tweaking on things and like that. And then over a period of time, the development that I was putting into it, it slowly generated over a period of time from like being like from 16 all the way up to like 24 years old now. It was a bit of a process with technique and stuff, but I always knew I could throw a punch. It was just like I just need a little bit more of like a bit of a snap and stuff like that. And I feel like I give my credit to Carl, do you know what I mean, on the technique side of things, like teaching me that. It just came like one day. I remember just knocking someone out, and I was like, oh, it's coming through now, isn't
it? Is Carl your first coach? Was Manchester Top Team your first team that you started training, or did you train elsewhere and move on to them guys?
You know what, mate? Yeah, I knocked about a few local MMA gyms here and there, but like Brendan Locke, I used to go all powers because before we were Top Team, and we were all powers, like was like linked with a Muay Thai gym. Brendan Loughnane used to coach the MMA sessions here and there, but he couldn't really take us serious with the fight team because he was focusing on his things. He didn't even sign for the PFL then. He just had that fight against that Wilkinson in the UFC, and he was trying to build his momentum back into the UFC. He had to call it a day coaching me and a few other lads and stuff like that, which is fair, focus on his career. And then Carl Prince took over because he got told there's a few young lads there who need coaching. He took a shine to me. The first thing he said to me, he seen me and he went, Ginger. I was like, and over a period of time, like from 16, I was his first amateur. He coached me, and then his first pro I think, was Lerone. So like, took a shine towards Catty coaching us, and I've been with him ever since. Then we moved over to our own facility, and now here we are at Manchester Top Team, yeah.
Talk a bit about your relationship with Carl, because Carl is somebody we've got the utmost respect for. We've had him on the podcast. I know him on personal terms. We speak pretty much every week, me and Carl. But for me, I think he goes under the radar a bit because he's so quiet in his nature and how he carries himself. I think there should be a lot more accolades, a lot more talk on the MMA scene about his ability as a coach, because for me, his record is second to none.
Yeah. I met Carl, yeah, when I was 15, 16. Like, I was a bit of like an angry lad, probably still the same now. But
You're still
like,
the same now. I've seen you around the
yeah,
scene, mate. Don't worry, you still got that anger in you.
that's it, mate. I like to say I was just a young teenage lad, and like I didn't really have much guidance or anything like that. I didn't know what I was doing. I was wagging school. I started losing the love for footy, and then he seen like some like form of potential in me. He took me under his wing, man, and like he helped me out. And I wouldn't just say yeah in a way, yeah. He didn't just teach me how to fight, but he also taught me how to be grow into a young man and respectful and stuff like that. He knows I'm a bit of a wild kid, you know what I mean, a bit of a madman, but he like helped me become grounded. He helped me learn discipline and how to work and getting the fruits of your labour and stuff like that. I've been with him now since pretty much the start of my MMA career, and if it weren't for him, I'd say all my credit goes to him, because I wouldn't really be where I am now if it wasn't for him. He's been in my corner every fight, and he will continue to be in my corner every fight, and he's always there for me. You know what I mean? Like, in a way, he's like a bit of like a father figure. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he helped me out so much, even from when I was like 18, 19. Took me to Vegas and stuff like that, to train with all the pros in Las Vegas and that, and getting a taste of like what's to come for me in the future and things. And I owe it all to him, man. Like, and not even just that he's coaching, he's a genius, mate. Like, he lives and breathes fighting more than anyone I know, and he's obsessed with the game.
Yeah.
And he always wants the best for everyone in the gym. Do you know what I mean? Like, he does so much for everyone, goes out his way, and all I could give is good praise. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a great guy, and I think a lot of the top successful coaches, they do take on that father figure mantle. I mean, if you look around the UK, the more successful gyms, you can see the fighters have been with the majority of them anyway, have been with the coaches a long time, and there's that trust. Yeah, I think there's got to be that trust there between fighter and coach, and I think that comes with developing a relationship as individuals, not as a coach and a fighter as well.
100%, mate. That's what I feel like, because like end of the day, yeah, like you get a lot of lost, like especially in like a council state where I'm from, there's a lot of like lost youths, I'd say, where they have no guidance and stuff like that, and that's what some of us need. Some young people, things like that. You meet lads from all walks of life, even, do you know what I mean? Like, need to find that momentum and that path, and I feel like if someone like that, like an adult like that, you can look up to, then it can definitely be a big change on you and like an effect.
Well, I think you had a question about his psychological warfare.
Yeah. Obviously been watching you a long time since you signed the PFL and before. It seems obviously in the build up to fights, online, in the fighter hotel, at the weigh-ins, and it might just be who you are as a person, but you're big into sort of the psychological aspect of it. You know, you're very intense, very confrontational. Is that something you've sort of said to yourself before you turn pro? I'm gonna sort of start this fight long before the fight actually starts, or is it just who you are as a person? You know, you've got to sort of not dislike the person to fight them, but you know, I've been there yourself where you think, well, I'm gonna fight him anyway, so I might as well be enemies with him at the weigh-in, at the hotel, at the press conference. Is it something you sort of train, not train so much, but say to yourself before the fight, right, I'm gonna get into it with him year, or is it just something that comes naturally? Because you can see a lot of guys, you've got them, obviously because of your powers are, but you've kind of got them intimidated before you even go in there. You know, I think it's fair to say Dean was probably the first guy I've seen go in there with you that kind of met fire with fire a little bit and didn't necessarily look too intimidated beforehand. But for the most part, you look like you've got a beating of most of these guys before you even get in the actual cage. So is that something you work on, or is it just who you are naturally, I suppose?
I think it's a little bit like naturally for me. Like, do you know when you get to that point, like, you would know me, innit? Like, do you know when you got like 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, like before a fight, them changes happen, innit? Where like, oh, it's ready to go to war, and like my mind, my whole like persona, everything just completely changes, and like in a way, yeah, you can say what you want, but I'm ready to like kill me, and because I feel like in a way, yeah, they're gonna kill me, and it's only fair. Like, soon after a fight, it's all love, mate. Do you know what I mean? Things like. But I'm not always. I wouldn't say I'm always on a mad one. Like, I think I've a little bit chill with that, constantly that now, because I was a bit more younger and things like that, especially when I was like 21 to 22. Even when I first just signed for the PFL the first year, I was a bit like very like that. Oh, don't get me wrong, it's still there. I'm always like that, no matter what we've set people in it, but I'll give the energy what they give.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I see how set people don't see what goes on behind the cameras and stuff like that. Like, some people might give me a little bit of shit here and there. Some people don't really see that. So, like, over the period of time, I'm just like, yep, it's ready to go. It's war now. It's war. But I'm just a bit of a madman, mate. I don't even realise when I'm like that sometimes. It's just who I am. And I do see that if I see a sign of weakness for a fight, like for a fighter who I'm fighting, I'm gonna take advantage of that, man.
Yeah.
Like, if they know that's the threat, I'll show them the threat, and I'll blend everything around it, not just from a fighting style, but like how I'm gonna confront them. Because I feel like some people, yeah, they may be like there's two different types of people I believe in this game. There's competitors and there's fighters. Like, where a fighter is like, they're on smoke 24/7. They're willing to go down and do it a little bit. But competitors are more like, I want to win. Don't get me wrong, they want to win, but they don't like the confrontation. You don't like all them emotions going around it. I'll be outside the cage. So I feel like I wouldn't say I'm not just a compare. I'm a fighter. So like, I'll bring these emotions outside of the cage, what people don't expect. Some of these fighters, yeah, have got like egos, I feel like, and like no one ever will let's say boo to him, like wherever they're from or whatever. But I will, because I'm a fighter as well. So I feel like if they feel like they're the cock of their friends, right, and the cock of their group and stuff like that, like how about I'll start on you, like you're out with your mates. Do you get me?
Yeah.
That'll mess with their head. That's how I look at it. Do you get me?
Yeah. I felt the kid you fought in the final of the tournament. I watched all the build up for that, the press conference, and I've been in the game a long time, and I can read people. And we spoke about it. I said, he's in that kid's head already. I could see it with you. You didn't stop talking. You wouldn't take your eyes off him. Every opportunity, he was going to tell him what he was going to do. And I just felt that you'd already had the edge, even as Jack said earlier, before you'd even gone into the cage. And I think it's an enjoyable part of the sport as a spectator. You know, as a fan, you know, and I'm a big fan of yours, mate. I've said it to Carl. Watching that type of thing is as enjoyable as a fight for me. I love the build-up. And that probably comes a little bit with you, mate, as well. As you just said, you grew up in the McGregor era, and he was the master of it. The warfare, the confrontation.
Yeah. And also, you said growing up on a council estate,
growing up in a rough area of Manchester, those things always play a part in it.
Confrontation growing up. When we spoke to Carl, he mentioned after you won the $100,000 tournament that sort of your contract was up with PFL, and it was a case of holding your ground a little bit and getting your worth. Was there any consideration to go anywhere else after the tournament, or was it kind of realistically, I want to stay here, it's just about getting what's right for me? Was there any sort of talk to UFC or Bellator, bigger promotions, not bigger promotions, but other big promotions like that? Or was it, let's see what we can kind of get out of PFL, because I feel at home here?
Yeah. So basically, right, we looked at it like it's one of these, isn't it now? Either we can stay with PFL for a little bit, get some money out of him and stuff like that, and work with him like we should, or we could look at another picture like the UFC, for example. I won't lie, like every kid's dream was always able to fight in the UFC, so that was always like a goal of mine as well. But I don't need to rush it, I feel, because I'm 24 years old,
yeah.
and I feel like some people have like rushed it to get to the UFC, and I didn't want to be that guy. So like, I feel like we come out with a counter offer with the PFL. We said, can we make this such a thing? We can go into the global, and probably not this year, but next year, get a few showcase fights, get more experience, and we'll go into there. They actually were happily obliged with it and agreed and stuff like that, and I thank PFL for that. I feel like but the thing is, if I would have left and probably, say for example, gone to the UFC, I had like a clause on my contract, yeah, where I couldn't have fought till like October all this year, just due to like the contract things and stuff like that. So it would have kind of put me out of like fucking activity and things like that. And I feel like the money I would have got I'm getting a PFL now, I probably would never have got that with the UFC now.
Agreed.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like, how about I get my experience, get some good quality opposition who I could fight right now anyway in the PFL, and then over a period of time I will probably go there maybe. Yeah. We'll see what the future holds with things like that.
So do you think you will end up in the global tournament next year? Is our goal to try and go and tick that one off as well? Or at the minute, are you just happy with the showcase fights, building your profile, building your record, and kind of see what presents itself? Because there's some good level there's some good names now in that global tournament, isn't there? Jake Adley, what's his name from the Don Cowlerton is in there as well. He's not in the
Major chip
tournament, but
hazard.
yeah, but he's just signed as well. So there's a lot of talk of that fight as well online. Is you against him? And also you can't say whether or not it is going to happen. But is that something you like the sound of as well as the tournament?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. I'll be honest with you, mate. I've agreed to it. I said let's fight. I've been told we'll possibly be fighting in Dubai in 3rd of October. So I'm like, sweet, mate.
Sorry, who's that against? Against Cowlin, yeah?
Caitlin Lochran,
yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, I also been told I want to go into the global next year, the tournament, but I'm hearing like things they want to do rankings now. Like, I'm a bit confused, like what's going on with PFL right now. They're like coming up with new ideas in it, but I'm all for it. Whatever, as long as I get nice quality fights, it's great opposition now. That's, like you said, he was signed for the PFL. Like, I want to fight Kaylen Lochran, and I know he wants to fight me. I just think we should just get it cracking, me. And I've heard like October is a good date for us and stuff like that, and I'm ready for that, me.
Yeah, brilliant. Those are the type of fights as well. As you said, you've got aspirations down there and maybe moving across the UFC. That could be an option. UFC vets on your record always helps when you're making discussions with the UFC as well.
I was experiencing fighting Alan Philpott, obviously a really well-known name on the UK and Europe scene, been about years. Obviously got to see a different side of your game as well. Everyone sort of said before the fight, you know, he was going to come and knock him out, and you ended up submitting him. So I was that experience fighting Alan, because he put up a really good fight as well, to be fair to him early on. You know, typical veteran, you know, tough experienced guy. What was that like? Because I think, although you fought some good guys in Dean and the guy you fought in my loss, I think Alan on paper was probably your toughest fight.
Yeah, most experienced without a doubt.
Yeah, you know what, mate? He was very, very tricky and awkward. I'll be honest. Like, I did see myself submitting him. You know, that fight week. I thought, he always thinks the threat of a left hand's coming. I thought, but I feel like I can mix it up against him. So I feel like the takedown will always ever be there for me to try and work there. But I was like, I'll try it out on the feet. But you know what? He was very, very good at being very composed. He was, because like you say, he was a veteran. He had so many fights, and like me fighting, and like I'm very good at making people bite with big reactions from like my left hand or whatever. And he was just stone cold, didn't have it. And I was like, this guy, man, he's game as anything. And he was very awkward and tricky. Like, he would I feel like he would make the wrong right, if that makes sense. Like, with like how he would get away, how he would move his feet, how he defend and things like, and where he would kick. I was like, it was a bit of a mad fight, but I gotta give it him, man. Big respect to him, you know. I did like Alan Philpott, I'll be honest. He's a nice guy as well.
Yeah, he fought one of my guys on Cage Warriors about 8-9 years ago.
Not longer than that.
2012. You know, he's been around. He stopped one of my lads 9-10 years ago.
Longer than that, 13 years ago.
13, you know, so he's been around on high level promotions for a long time, you know. So it's a great win for you. So October could be an option with Loughnane. Any other, you know, is there any other fighters within the PFL that you've got your eye on? You think, yeah, I fancy that as a match?
I seen this thing where I seen this thing on Instagram where someone put like a top 5 rankings of PFL. It was just some page that made it up, really. Like, there was like that Taylor Lapierce, that American guy, Magomedov, and I feel like I would love to fight them all eventually. Like, I feel like end of the day, yeah, it will. I feel like I'll fight them all, but it'll all come in good due time. I feel like possibly next year these oppositions will come my way anyway. Yeah. Especially like Taylor Lapierce and things like that. I've heard he wants to fight me. Do you know what I mean? I've heard things like that, but I'm just waiting. Like,
another UFC vet, you know, is a cracking one to go on your record, isn't it?
100%. And I feel like I think he's good, me. I'll be honest. Like, I feel like he's very, very intelligent, and he gets his feet out and where he goes. Like he did well against Kaylen Lochran. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And I feel like I've been watching him now for a bit, even in the UFC and things like that. And I feel like if it beat him, that's a really, really good win, because I feel like not many people can crack that puzzle against him. I'll be honest. I find it mad how he got released from the UFC, to be honest, because I think he went 3-1 in the UFC or something like that.
I read an article, and again, you don't know, because it's all bullshit all over it, but I read an article that he left on his own terms. He was given a better deal off PFL, so that could well be the case. Money talks at the end of the day. It's, you know, it's a fight game, isn't it?
With Don as well, because he beat Fletcher, and then ended up not re-signing. So I don't know if may have been the same thing, but yeah.
And I think that's what PFL has given fighters is an alternative, isn't it? Whereas UFC have got the majority title, but PFL does give a good platform and a good alternative for guys to fight on. So October, hopefully, tournament the following year. You're 24 years of age. Am I right saying you used to fight flyweight before, Lou?
Yeah.
Them days are gone. You've developed into because I've been around you, and I think you're a perfect fit for bantamweight. No way of going back down to 57 kilograms, no.
No, mate, that was dark. Them cuts, man. Oh, I remember when I fought on FCC in 2022 against Sheldon Ryan. Oh my god, like the cut I did, I must have cut about 6 kg in the night, and like I swear, man, like that was one of the most life contemplating things ever. Like, I remember, like I was so skinny, like I felt like that I could feel the bone in my heels touching the floor, and and it was so sore and like dehydrated and that. Don't get me wrong, the next day I felt fresh, I felt ready, but it's a big toll on my body, man. Like, because I'm going into my man body now, and I feel like I'm only getting bigger and stronger, and I feel like bantamweight definitely now. If you would have asked me in 2023 about bantamweight, I would have went, because I was still growing. Do you know what I mean? But like now, I feel like I'm fully filled into a bantamweight size now. Like I feel bigger.
I remember when Brett fought on Dublin on Bellator, and I remember I think Kane Musa was fighting on the same card, and Carl was there. Carl may have been there with Kane, I think, but you was there, and we was doing the shakeout fight, and you was there in pads, and I'm thinking, oh, that's that kid I seen levitate that fucking guy on Instagram. I think that was at flyweight. You knocked that guy out and his feet come up in the air. I am looking at him then and thinking, fucking hell, he's a big boy for flyweight, because I had just gone from bantamweight to featherweight. I was like, fucking hell, does he make flyweight? Maybe I need to go back down then, because he looks pretty big for a fucking featherweight, for a flyweight, sorry. And I remember thinking then he's not gonna, because he was only young, would have been, I would have been 22, so I would have been then 21. So I was like, he's gonna have to go up eventually. But what did you used to walk around at when you used to fight at flyweight?
So when I can remember it from a space of like when I started competing at fly when I was an amateur, and I was like walking on like 65, but over a period of time I was getting bigger, like 68. Or now I'm 69 kilo after a fight, and before you know it, the time when you see me, I know when you're talking about. I was about 75 kg.
I was going to say, he looked fucking thick then.
Yeah, I was a fat cunt, mate. Swear down. I just fought as well, and I was scranning up, and I went over there, and I thought, have a taste at these big shows and enjoy myself as well. I remember, but like that was literally the pinnacle. That was like the time when I was like, right, those are the time where like, all right, flyweight, I gotta pack it in, man. I can't do it anymore, and it wasn't safe for my body. I was like still growing and things like that, but like now, like. Now I've probably filled into a proper bantamweight, like even the strength and that. Like, do you know when I fought Wesley Meyer? Like I was literally 60. I was in the cage. I was 67 kg in the cage. I was too small, and then I got told he was like 71 in the cage and things like that. I got on my S&C. I started eating a bit more and got proper like more strict at becoming a solid bantamweight like now, and I've fully grown now. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm getting bigger.
What I'll say as well, Lou, at 24, and I've seen it because I've been around with a lot of young lads that have taken from like teenagers through to their 30. You'll grow again, mate. Between 24 and 29, your body will physically...
Maybe a featherweight in the future.
You could even look at going up, and telling you, because what's happening, you're constantly training, you're constantly doing your S&C, your muscle mass just keeps growing and growing and growing. Do you know what I mean? So that physical side of it will develop as you get older. So the bantamweights will be getting tougher, mate. Trust me, as you get older. I'll send you a photograph after. We found it this week. Where was the show when you've done that week?
Abu Dhabi.
In Abu Dhabi, and he's got a mask on. And honestly, mate, he looks like he's been in some concentration camps.
Poorly, bro. Poorly. It's dark.
It's dark, mate. And there's only so many weight cuts I believe a fighter's got in them. I think it comes to a point where the body says, no fucking chance, I'm not doing this anymore. So you've got to make the right decisions. And I think bantam at the moment is brilliant for you. I think you're going to be a handful for anyone in the world at bantamweight. Do you know what I mean? And that's not me just blowing smoke up your ass because you're a talented lad. You've got that touch of death. You can grapple. You know submissions. You're going to be an handful. And 24, you're still learning your craft. By the time you're 27, 28, you're probably 4 years off your prime.
Yeah, thank you, mate. It is like all I got to do though. Look at it this way: I just got to keep staying focused, keep working hard, innit?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
You've
And
got the
like,
perfect role model at your gym in Lerone. Look what Carl's done with Lerone. So you should have that trust in Carl and say, right, he knows how to take a fight. He's got the blueprint to take him from an amateur to one of the highest level pros in the world. Just keep doing what you're doing, mate, and you won't go far wrong.
no, thank you, mate. You're right, mate. Like with the role, like I always said, he like a definition role model of like how to be a professional fighter. Do you know what I mean? Like I watched how he works, stuff like they always say the saying, it monkey see, monkey do, and I feel like when I see things like that, like even with like Ibrahimov, he's following that as well. You're seeing things like that with other pros, like Louis Lee Scott now, he's getting his opportunity in the gym and like that. There's a handful of us now, we're working in a good team. We're all just watching each other and keep working hard, and it's all going to come together.
How beneficial do you think that is that you've got such strength and depth of high-level guys around your weight as well? Like you said, Lerone, who's the guy that fought also the Dagestani guy?
Abraham.
Louis Scott is on the contender
Contenders
series now
yeah.
for a big amateur team as well. How good has that been for you as well, having that strength and depth where more than likely whatever style you come up against is going to be a couple of guys in the gym that can kind of emulate it? Because I think that's such a big thing. You can have the best fighter in the world, but I think if they haven't necessarily got the sparring and the guys to not just sharpen them up, but like you said, when there's so many guys at the high level and all working towards the same thing, it kind of pulls you all along and motivates you all together. So how good has that been, just being in the gym with such high level guys, and obviously Lerone at the pinnacle as well then?
Oh, it's mint, mate, because like I thought we're a proper team. Do you know what I mean? As well, like not even just the fact that I'm around just high level guys and like because we're on the mat. Because like some people be at our gyms with high level guys, they're not even working together. They're like on the other side of the mat, like you see sometimes in them American gyms or gyms in Thailand. But we're all together. Do you know what I mean? We're working hard. And we're all showing bits as well because everyone's got their so different individual style, like the way Louis fights, his footwork and his feet, and the way he kicking base and stuff like his feints. You'll have Ibrahim, the way he can mix up his MMA now. Do you know what I mean? With his Western to striking, the way he's so good at locking people down with his grips and things like that. Lerone, just like clinical strike, all the way he moves his feet. I have my style and things like that, and we all help each other out. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know Jordan Barton as well, mate? Like he is so good at doing impressions of fighters for training. Like he helped. I seen him help the rollout with the Josh Emmett fight, and oh my mate, he was more Josh Emmett than Josh Emmett. It was sick. It was sick, mate. Like you say, like we're all working together. Iron sharpens iron. End of the day, I'd say in it, and we'll just keep getting better.
Yeah, you're all similar weights as well. I think we're in the same position as well. If 70 kilogram and under, our guys don't really need to go and travel to other gyms to spar because we got such strength and depth on the mat. And it's probably the same with you guys. So I'm a great believer, Lou. I don't know what your thoughts are, but when you've got your team, as you said, and your friends as well, I think that's key. You become, you build them friendship groups. You're not just, like you said, your American top teams or your Jackson weight where there's little pockets of fighters on the mat. They're not mates. They're just there for their own benefit. I think there's that trust value as well. And I've used this analogy a million times. Like if Jack and Brett are rolling and Brett got Jack in a heel hook and Jack's been a bit overzealous, I know Brett will let it go. He's not going to persist and go, right, I'm going to fucking shatter your knee. Unfortunately, when you travel to some gyms, ego takes over a little bit. There's not that trust there. Nobody wants to lose face and say, oh, well, I got tapped out or I got beaten in that round by a fighter from an opposing. And I think that can cause as many problems as much as the benefits sometimes as well. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but you've got a big strength and depth in those lower weights, and I'm guessing you don't do a lot of traveling with the sparring.
I haven't much really, but that we have been talking about doing a few boxing rounds. Really, that's it. Nothing much on the MMA side of things. I went to Thailand last year. I remember being on the mat and like some people clocked who I was a little bit and know who I am, and I could see like some people do try and prove a point, don't they?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean? But also, I've also had people where people like don't want to go too hard on me because they're scared I might try and hit them hard. But you know what I mean? Like, but do you know me? I'm like when I'm training and like sparring, I'm completely different. Like I'm not like I don't like even like showing that any of that side to me whenever I fight. Do you know what I mean? As we're working together end of the day.
Yeah.
I'll only go as sparring. If I'm sparring some randomer, I only go as hard as they want to go. Do you know what I mean? And like end of the day, like when we're working together, you're helping out with set bits, and I'm gonna help you with set bits. You know what I mean? Might clock in a little bit just to make you more self-aware, where they might be on the line from my left hand and things like that. But that's about it. But I see it everywhere, like especially when you go like again Thailand. I see all them Dagestanis, man, and they look at it like they want to kill you like a pack of wolves, mate. I remember when I started helping Hamid Makayev out against that Perez fight. and I was like whipping in car kicks trying to help him out and things like that. And I could see the other Dagistanis who didn't really knew me properly. But with Makayeva, they like talk to me in Russian, saying, "Why aren't you going out? Why are you doing this and that?" I'm like, they really want to kill me, mate. But me and Makayeva got that understanding. We're working together with my mates, man. Do you know what I mean? It's mad.
So October's the next fight, mate. We wish you all the best with that. We appreciate you coming on. We've took enough of your time. Anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors you want to thank? You know, because we can add them on the end of the reel as well when we release the tape next week.
Yeah, obviously I want to big thank you to Manchester Top Team. My sponsors like Cryonic helping me out with like my physio and things like that. Scran Diggity as always, and a big thank you to you guys as well for bringing me on. I appreciate that.
No, we appreciate you taking the time to come on, buddy.
Well, you know what I mean? Been watching him fight for years.
Yeah.
Top, man. I told Carl the same thing. You're my favourite fighter to watch at the minute, Lou, and that's not me bullshitting you because you're you're one of the most exciting to watch. You know, every time you go in there, win or lose, it's going to be a tear up. And when you watch it as a fan, that's the type of fighters you like to see. And like you said, you create the interest before the fight as well. The intensity, the stare-offs. You can't wait for the fight to come around. So thank you for coming on, buddy. We do
never change, Lou. Never change.
I won't, mate. Thank
you. Keep being you and keep panning them out.
Take care, bud. We'll catch you soon on the show.
Good man.
Thanks, Lou. Ta-ra, buddy.
See you later.
Thanks, mate.